Hi friends, 2 days back when the government announced 20% duty on rice, we had come up with a video as to quickly for all of us to help and understand कि ये क्या है ये 20% duty और इसके कारण क्या क्या effect होने वाला है. तो on the same note, my friends, today we thought कि आज थोड़ा और बात कर लेते हैं ये टॉपिक पे, थोड़ा और अच्छे से समझेंगे कि हमको क्या क्या इफेक्ट होने वाला है और ये जाके आगे जाके कैसे दिखेगा, राइट? सो आई विल क्विकली माय फ्रेंड्स गो टू द फर्स्ट थिंग विच इज गवर्नमेंट. व्हाई डिड द गवर्नमेंट डू दिस इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस? ऐसे जो 20% ड्यूटी सडनली गवर्नमेंट क्यों इंप्लाई किए हैं वो पहले हम जान लेते हैं. सो व्हाई डिड द गवर्नमेंट डू? जो भी राइस में थे, राइस बिजनेस में थे, राइस एक्सपोर्ट्स, राइस डोमेस्टिक, आई थिंक यू ऑल नो और प्रोबेबली नो कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल सोना मसूरी चावल फ्रॉम कर्नाटका रीजन नॉर्मली 29 या 30 रुपए प्रति केजी हुआ करते थे एक्स मिल, राइट? सो 29 to 30 रुपीज जो था, इट हैड रीच्ड अबाउट 42 रुपीज पर केजी एक्स मिल. मतलब almost 12 rupees increase per kg was the effect of on the pricing. ये जो इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड में, एक्सपोर्ट ट्रेड में, फॉर एग्जांपल 12 जो रुपीस जो डिफरेंस है, इट इज इजीली अबाउट $180 पर टन का डिफरेंस है. सडन राइज इन प्राइसेस कैसे हो सकता है? दैट वाज वन पर्टिकुलर राइस. एनी अदर राइस दैट वी सॉ? There was a parboiled rice and a few other rice which caught up, but majority of other rices were still okay. Basmati, the paddy has just come in and it was okay. There was other non-Basmati rice like say Swarna, IR64. All this rice was still okay. Rice like Jaya rice, parboiled rice, Matta rice, and Gobindabog rice. These were all okay at the price points. I think Sona Masuri rice is one price which currently kind of shot up, right? So if prices go up, local market में अगर price बढ़ गया तो people will start questioning. So the government actually is talking and tracking inflation. जो food products अगर prices बढ़ें तो it is not good for the country, right? So that is the reason government has come in one step. The second step and the reason why government did something like this was we covered in our first video is ये जो white rice was there. So white rice is not only available in India, it is also available in Vietnam, Pakistan, Philippines, Cambodia, Thailand, Brazil. Everybody is offering their FOB price was around $390 per ton as their FOB, and India's price was about $340 per ton. ये इतना difference क्यों? Why can't India also bring its price up, make better margins, and then also compete and be very competitive with these markets? Also was the second question, right? First is inflation, second is this point. Now, why on rice? We know that rice, wheat, इसके पहले wheat के साथ ये हुआ था, ban हुआ था, right? So wheat and rice it's a very very common food for all of us, right? So इस पे तो बहुत कड़ी नजर रहती है गवर्नमेंट की, right? This happens also in sometimes in onions. If we know suddenly 20 rupees per kg goes to about 100 rupees a kg, and then government intervenes, right? So commodity wise ये है, right? Let's move on to the next point, which is this same as something like GST, which is 5% which is added? No, this is very very different. This is not something like GST जिसका 5% add हुआ है, right? GST is a whole different thing. This is an export duty. Mostly and by and large this is applied on the FOB prices of rice, right? So that is where this 20% is actually added, right? Now let's very quickly find out what all is affected, right? In terms of rice varieties, which rice varieties are affected? So when government said there is a 20% export duty on non-Basmati rice except parboiled, right? Which means raw rice and steam rice is affected. And except Basmati rice is what government said. So government said Basmati is free. You can export as usual, right? So then, because Basmati or paddy has already come in, the prices are stable. So government said that Basmati is still okay. So in this rice, let me quickly go through a few regions, my friends, to understand which all rice could be affected. So if you talk about Andhra, in Andhra Pradesh, there is Jaya rice, there is BPT, there is Kurva boiled, so it is a parboiled, so it's not affected, right? Then there is Nellore Sona, non-BPT, there is Idli rice, there is GR11, there is HMT rice, there is IR64 raw, fresh milling, remilling. So so these are the rice varieties. So whatever is raw and steam is definitely going to be affected. So what is not affected is Jaya boiled, parboiled, Kurva rice, these kind of rice, right? If you go to a region like say Bihar, Chhattisgarh, it's again all the rice that is in raw form, Swarna, IR64 is all affected in this, right? If you go to Gujarat, right, there is kolam rice also which is raw, which is also affected, right? If you go to Haryana and Punjab, because there is Basmati, there is no problem. But even in Basmati, if there is a variety which is non-Basmati in nature, like PR11, Pusa rice, right, Sugandha, right, Sharbati, if these are categorized as non-Basmati, then they are affected as well, my friends. In Karnataka, as we know, Sona Masuri, Kolam, RNR, all this rice in raw and steam form is affected, right? In Kerala, Matta and all this Kurva boiled, all this rice is not affected. Coming to Kolkata, West Bengal, right? In West Bengal, what is happening is that in West Bengal, Swarna and IR64 raw rice is definitely affected. But then parboiled Swarna and this rice is not affected, right? Same thing is with Maharashtra, all the raw rice is affected, right? Coming to Punjab, again, Basmati doesn't have any problem. Tamil Nadu, again, HMT, boiled and all those rice is okay. Idli rice comes under parboiled, so it is not affected. And the same is the case with Telangana, where there is HMT, RNR, kolam, these kind of varieties, which is in the raw and steam form, which is affected, right? This is just an overview of what rice is affected. Based on this, we have understood which regions could be affected. So regions like Nellore, regions like Chhattisgarh, regions like Bihar, which was producing a considerable amount of raw and steam rice, Karnataka, which is raw and steam rice, these regions are getting affected for export purpose, right? Let's look at markets. What kind of markets are affected, right? Though all these countries like UAE, the Middle East countries, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, these countries which are buying in majority, 80% of their procurement is Basmati rice, right? So they are probably going to be very, very safe. Their share of non-Basmati is very, very low. So they can actually live with this. But then, if you look at Singapore as a market, Singapore, the share of non-Basmati which goes to that market is roughly about 350 to 400 crores every year worth of non-Basmati rice. And the Basmati is very small, which is going to Singapore, so about 70, 80 crores, right? So for them, it's a very, very big problem for the Indian population there, right? Because what happens, if India is trying to control inflation and restrict the amount of non-Basmati rice which goes there, but for Singapore, there is no option. You cannot buy Sona Masuri from any other country, right? You can buy Sona Masuri only from India. You can buy Idli rice only from India. You can buy Matta rice, Jaya rice, parboiled, kolam, RNR, Gobindbhog. All this rice is only available from India. So these countries which is importing these rice has to only rely on India. So they might have to buy at a 20% higher cost right now. But then it's not the case for Basmati rice. Basmati is available in India and Pakistan. White rice, which is Swarna, IR64, short grain and long grain, is also available in Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, Myanmar, Brazil, right? So these are their options when they are actually coming to buy. But then the problem is, like I said in my last video and earlier to this, their price was around $390 per ton for 5% white rice FOB. So now since our 20% duty has added, now India's price has become about $400 to $405 per ton, right? So our price and Vietnam price is the same, for example. So then buyer might say, why should I buy from India? I'll buy from Vietnam. But then the world has to keep eating. The world cannot stop eating. There is a huge demand, and the availability from the availability point of view for this white rice, it is going to be India, which is a very strategic country which is going to cater to this demand, right? So India cannot be neglected, right? So for all those exporters who are in this white rice exports business, so even at 20% duty, customers will buy probably, because see, if you see 3-4 years back, India was exporting about 45,000 crore worth of rice every year. Now India is exporting about 70,000 crores worth of rice every year. Almost it was going to getting doubled, right? Even if it comes down, it might come down to say about 50-60,000 crores a year, right? But we still have a lot of business to do for all of us. So that's the good news, my friends, right? So next crop season is going to come very soon. We are in September. I'm making this video as on 10th September to 2022. October, November, December, in the next 3 months, a lot of crop is going to, the new arrivals is going to come very soon. The government has already observed that because of delay in monsoon, planting in regions like UP, Bihar and all has been delayed, and there's a forecast that about 6 million tons of short planting has happened. That is the reason also government has taken a precautionary measure right now. But then we all can wait for the next 3 months of what the crop really looks like. On a positive note, as I said, India is a very strategic partner, rice supplier for the world, and the world just cannot avoid to stop buying from India. To fulfill the demand, the buyers have to buy from India. All we have to do is just wait, let the tide settle, let the storm settle, and then we all are going to be back in business again very soon, my friends. Till then, I hope you're liking this content that we make at PWIP. PWIP is the world's first digital company which is trying to revolutionize the rice trade, and we are all very happy to be a part of this. I hope you all like this content, my friends. Keep following and keep sharing this content, and we will talk soon. Thank you.